Two cents, party time, excellence. On the pod.
Woo! That's an original right there. No one's ever done that before.
Yeah, you like that?
What's up, homie? 2 cents, Josh and Spence. We're your hosts. Josh,
Spence.
What's up, homie?
Not much, man. Mindset's so today, very excited.
Oh, yeah, man, makes one of us, baby. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk about mindset today. So we had a team meeting on Monday, and at the end of that team meeting, I went and got a little vulnerable, and that has now sparked this mindset. So today we're going to talk about seasonal depression with disorder.
Very real thing in our area.
Soup's real. Soup's real. Yep. So anyway, no, just at the end of the meeting, I just wanted to just kind of be vulnerable and transparent with everybody. Be like, hey, everybody, just FYI, you know, because like the team has been around for a while, but this is kind of like the first, like, because you started like this time last year or whatever, a little after or whatever, but like kind of the first time where it's like, okay, like spring, like a full 4 seasons of the team or whatever. So, but I've just been feeling myself like as it gets, you know, as many of us do, I'm sure, like it gets darker longer and you feel like your energy is just like at a premium.
Yep.
Meaning like there's times where in like June and July, like I can spring out of bed at 5 or 5:30 and just like rock and roll all day and be like wearing many different hats and coming and going and doing like all the things.
Yep. And
then it's like 10 o'clock and then you just crash and then you wake up and do it again. And then there's other times like if it wasn't for the team and if like, say if I was just an independent real estate agent, like I didn't have kids to get to school and stuff like that, like sleep till 10:30 and wake up and just
do.
Yeah. Not super productive, is it?
No, very lonely too.
It's can be a very lonely existence. Yeah. So anyway, I just, you know, pretty vulnerable, transparent with the team. And it was easy for like, you know, a lot of you guys, we've been spending an awful lot of time together for the last year, but like some agents are newer and stuff. I just want to be like, hey, just FYI, like this is just me. And so if you're ever like, you know,
so would you say that you know your whole life you've always dealt with this time of year, or did it come on later in life? Or
no, I can remember being like a small kid and just being like just unhappy and not knowing why, and that's the beauty too of like personal growth and self development stuff like that. Like read a lot of books and I not like a psychologist to like understand that, but like just understanding like mindset and how important it is and how, you know, the words that you say to yourself, how you communicate with others, how you communicate with yourself is very important.
Yeah.
So now I guess I say that to say now when I'm feeling it, it used to be like, I'm depressed and I'm unhappy and like, what am I even doing? And what's this all about? And like, just kind of more of that, like just general, like hopeless feeling, you know, versus now it's just like, God, like frickin' A, like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I know, like I see you and I know what you're doing and I don't like it.
Yep.
You know? So I take a lot of steps now to try to, you know, to do the best that I can to kind of combat it or whatever. But ultimately, like, it's like a very real thing. And even like going to the gym, it gets tougher. Like all summer you find like a quick half hour to like quick bop to the gym and bang out a workout or whatever. Or like, and then there's days where I'm like, dude, I you know, and it's weird. And I can even see it like on my face. Like I watched our most recent pod, which was hilarious, by the way. But like I feel like I could just even see it in my face. Like the bags get deeper under your eyes and like you just like see it. And it also sucks for somebody like me. And I'm sure there's many other people like that. Like you can't, like it's tough to mask how you're feeling. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so like, if I'm off, like it's, you know, it's very easy to tell that like I'm off. And so I wanted to share that with the team to just be like, hey, like, I'm not necessarily like off. I'm not pissed off at anybody. I'm not whatever. It's just like, it's just something I'm dealing with. And I wanted to be transparent about it too, because like a lot of times when you feel like that, like you want to isolate yourself, you know, for whatever reason. And sometimes being like Mr. Positive, like you don't want other people to see you negative or see you not in the zone or whatever, you know, so then you want to isolate yourself, but then that just makes it worse.
Well, right? Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. I also kind of deal with it. I don't think to the extent that other people like yourself do, but I've found that like exercise and like being around people is helpful, but you just don't want to do it, which doesn't make any sense because it's like, I know that this will help,
right?
But I don't want to do it.
Yeah. 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 And so, so it's like, you know, so, and too, like, I would never say like, there's many people that have it much worse than I do. And like, would never say like, certainly believe that there can be chemical imbalances and all of that type of stuff. But like, I've also kind of, and so too, so I've for like the last 8 years, I've taken like a dose, like a smaller dose, but a small dose of fluoxetine, which is, I think is like a generic, like Prozac basically.
Okay.
And it was super helpful and can be super helpful. And like, I started taking that because my dad took it and he was as a kid, he was very ornery, you know, and like very easy to get under his skin and very just anxious. And like, as a kid and as a young, like man, like you didn't call it anxiety, you called it just, you had a short fuse or you just had a temper,
right?
You know, and you kind of wore it as a badge of honor. Like, you're a tough guy. Like, yeah, he's tough and he's whatever, but it's like, no, he was just anxious, and he was probably anxious because he was tired and crabby, and he had 2 kids being little butt heads, and you know, like with all families, like money's tight and all that type of stuff. So he's just anxious, you know, and everybody wears it differently, but like I wear it as like very quick to like I'll still, like, I don't cuss anymore. Like, that's on my spiritual, well,
he's working on it.
Not playing ping pong, I don't cuss often. But it's just like, it's just something I'm working on as a part of my like personal growth and stuff. I'm just like, it doesn't serve me well. Like I used to like wear that also as a badge of honor. Like, no, I'm being transparent. I'm like, I'm from the east side of like that. I'm just like, that's how we talk, man. That's how you know, that's just whatever, you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But anyway, I forgot where I was going. But I'm like I'm blackout 10, 12 times. Yeah. That's 2. That's 2. Can we get the blackout counter?
Let's put a counter on. Yeah.
Jamie, can you pull up a blackout counter on me? But anyway, like that's how I wear it. So it's like I'm quick to just snap, not snap, but like hey, like with other people or with my kids especially, or at home, which is not cool. And like my whole thing is like spread joy and empower other people, right? And like it's that old thing, like people don't remember what you say or what you did, but they remember how you make them feel, which is then a crappy feeling when you know like you can easily make people feel terrible, you know? But then that compounds it, right? So that's the same thing with like you get into he's got a blackout. So it then compounds it, but then too, like, so you're quick to want to get out of action. So it's like, you know, it's tough to go to the gym, suddenly quit going to the gym. So then that, you know, compounds are like, you got all these little things where like, you feel like you could be very productive when you're in the zone, but then you get out of the zone and then you feel like you can't be productive. Well, then then you go, you know what I mean? Counter this guy's
well, so let me ask you this. Why, what's the reasoning behind stopping that medication?
I don't know. I just for some, I don't know. I just, you know, read a lot of books, you know, understand like the power of the mind and stuff like that. And I almost feel like I'm using it as a crutch, you know?
So do you take that year round or just in this season?
No, yeah, just year round. Okay. And it kind of, it's one of those things that like stays in your system. So it takes a while for it to build up. And then when you get off it, it takes it a while to get off. Like a lot of medications probably where you're like, F it, I don't need to take my medication anymore. And then you're like, yeah, everything's fine for a couple weeks. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa. Yeah. You know?
So how long have you not been taking it now?
A couple months.
Okay.
Long enough.
You feel any different?
Yeah.
Like how so?
I don't know. I just feel like, and that's part two of what I wanted, like, to share it with everybody. Cause I don't know. I feel like I'm just quicker to be like, hey, let's, you know, I don't know. I just feel like I'm quicker to kind of get after somebody or quicker to just, And sometimes too, I've noticed this, like there's times like when I'm in the zone and feeling good, like I can make a comment and it'll hit and people think it's funny, or all think it's funny.
Yeah.
But then but then sometimes like you get out of the zone and then you make that same comment and then like nobody laughs. You're like, oh, was that,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You just kind of feel off.
So,
But I stopped taking it because I feel like I'm like, Mr. Positivity, Mr. Mindset, Mr. Whatever. But it's at the same time, it's like, well, are you like super positive and are you doing all this, or are you just using the medication as a crutch to,
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't think taking medications is bad by any means, but
no, I don't think so either.
Totally get where you're coming from. It's like, let's see if I can do this in a more like natural way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did you ever feel like I've heard people get like foggy and like really cloudy in the brain when taking stuff like that?
I don't think so. And that's the thing too. Like I never had any side effects from it, because I was very cognizant of that going into it. I was like, hey, is this going to make me, am I going to now have to take another pill because of this and then another? It was like, for sure, I'm not in on that.
Yep.
But like, I took it and then like didn't upset me in any way. Didn't make me. So, I mean, it worked.
Yeah. What I've never liked is how, and I absolutely agree. Some people like medication helps, but like, let's not be so quick to prescribe that.
Yeah. And that's
not that we need to get into this on this podcast.
Yeah. We've already given legal advice, tax advice. Like, let's give medical advice.
Let's give some medical advice.
Talked about the Vikings, some medical advice. But no, I know it's one of those things. It's just like to each their own and whatever. And like, I would never tell somebody else like what to do or what not to do, because it really doesn't affect me. But I got on that tangent about my dad because that's when I started taking it. Cause like, so he started taking it. And like there was a big change in him, and he was much easier to be around and much more relaxed and all that type of stuff. And so I was like, so we had just gotten married, and so I was like, in my head, I was like, would have been sweet if Dad would have been on that about 40 years ago, like that would have been, or 30 years ago, like that would have been cool. So then I got on it because like we just got married and like I don't want to have the same fight over and over again and like all that type of stuff. So I got on it and it worked. It worked well. But then again, just as you go through this journey, for some reason I've just been feeling convicted, like you're like just using it as a crutch that I don't necessarily need to be on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So anyway, so got. That's six. And I feel good about it for the most part, but still like the biggest time it hits me, like, well, in the morning, I'm still like it's tough to get up, it's tough to get out of bed. And normally in the summer, like I'd get up early, exercise, and then get the kids up and all that stuff.
Yep.
And now it's like takes all I can do to like get the kids out. And then by the time you get the kids out and you get in the office, you're just like, now I want to take a nap. Right. Which is like, shouldn't, like you just got to work. Now it's time to get after it. But I truly like, I don't like, you wouldn't see it much in the office here. It's more so like you get home now and now I'm just exhausted. Like, I'm just tired and crabby, but now it's time to like check in and be dad and husband and stuff like that. And so that's the part that sucks. And so that's why it's almost like you need a time block. And like, I'm fortunate enough to where we have like flexible schedules. We kind of make our own schedule. So it's like, probably need to time block, like take a nap like twice a week or something just to stay. But not a lot of people have that opportunity. Yeah.
So what are some things that you're doing to stay in a positive mindset and to not let this seasonal depression just take over? Yeah.
So like staying in action is a big thing. So, continuing to exercise is a big thing. Continuing to read is a big thing. Like continuing just to come in the office. Like this is easy now. Like if I was like an independent agent, just kind of going to my cubicle and going home and maybe saying hi to a few people here and there or whatever, but like having the squad is big time for that. But too, like putting good stuff in your body, so eating healthy. I just got so Joe Rogan, have you heard of On It? It's his company. I don't know.
I haven't.
Anyway, I read a book by Aubrey Marcus called Own the Day, Own Your Life. And in it, he talked a few things in there. But anyway, they've got like a vitamin pack, like a morning vitamin pack and an evening vitamin pack. So like vitamin D and like some bunch of just good stuff for the morning, a bunch of good stuff in the evening to whatever. And then continuing to just move forward and progress, because it's one of those things. It's like, and whether it be seasonal depression or like addiction or anything, it's like you continue to do stuff that continues to pile on more anxiety. That makes it tougher.
Yeah.
As opposed to just like bearing down. And then, so bearing down and continuing to get stuff done and not letting stuff like carry into the next day. So it's like, shoot, I should have done that and that. Now I got to do all that and then some. So I would say probably like chunking in the work that you need to get done into that time frame when you're like at your most fresh, which instead of being 4 hours is now an hour or something. So just identifying what those things are and hammering them out. Another thing that I take, and Aubrey Marcus mentioned it in Own the Day, Own Your Life. So he told the story about, so Duncan Keith was a hockey player for the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yep.
Like when they were really good, winning Stanley Cups and stuff. And told the story about he's from Canada somewhere. So very similar to here, like dark all the time and whatever. So they have those sad lights, the bright shine the blue lights or whatever, but they make a product. It's called the Human Charger, I want to say, by Valkyrie or something. But anyway, it's like a Bluetooth headset. You turn it on, you can connect it to your phone, then you hit another button, and for like 12 minutes it shines like blue light directly into your ear holes or whatever.
It's wild.
It like, I don't know, doesn't hurt. So
right.
I bought one. I actually bought a bunch of us those because well, you weren't here yet, pal.
No, just kidding.
And you're just jolly all the time. So I'm saving the $200 on you.
They're that much?
They're something like that.
Wow.
They weren't like $30, but anyway, so those things, and then staying like the same thing as always, like staying in prayer and gratitude, like focusing on what you're grateful for. Cause like what you focus on expands, right? So if you want to be pissed off and find stuff to be pissed about, like you focus on that and you'll get more of it, but if you find stuff to be grateful for, stuff that juices you up, like you'll find more of it.
Yeah.
And then just staying in community with other people, like being around people, is a big thing. Cause a lot of times we want to get into isolation and just be on our own and stuff. And I don't know, I've just found in my experience, it's not super helpful, but yeah, I remember being in like 7th, 8th. I remember getting like the holiday blues as a kid. And then my birthday is like early January and just like never quite being really happy. And then, all the way through school, all that type of stuff. So always just feeling it. So now just like identifying what it is. I'll be like, all right, F you, seasonal depression.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, yeah.
So have you ever tried like journaling? And like
that's kind of how this started, actually.
Really?
Part of it. Yeah. So I thought like a cool idea for a podcast, because I always thought like Joe Rogan. I imagine so if Joe Rogan, when he dies, like his kids are going to have 1,800 episodes. So thousands of hours of like listening to their dad talk. And
I'm talking about for you to look back on though, like journaling, like here's what I did today. Here's how it made me feel.
Yeah,
like this was successful. This worked.
Yeah.
This is what I did today. This didn't work. So let's cut this out.
I have thought about that. I've said that before. Like that's the one thing of like all the things that's like successful people do is journal. And I've not been good about that, but I thought,
easier said than done for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, just being more cognizant of like, what did I eat? What did I do? Like, why, like, how do I feel? Why do I feel this way? When did that feeling start?
Right.
And just kind of really getting to the root of it, and then finding what makes you feel good and do more of that, and eliminating what doesn't serve you. You know?
Ever tried talking to like a therapist or anything about it, or no?
Mm-hmm. I have thought about that.
Oh, you've thought about it?
Yeah.
Haven't actually done it though?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just curious.
No, like therapists, and then like, marriage counselor too and stuff like that. Cause that, like, once you get married, it's like both of you now, you know, and that's always the thing. Like, it takes the biggest toll on like that person.
Absolutely.
Which sucks.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Cold showers, been taking cold showers. Seems to get your head right for a minute. It gives you something to focus on. Like, okay, I'm pissed off now, but I know what it is. It's this cold water coming down on me, you know?
Yeah. I tried that a few times, and I tell you what, man, I hate that.
That sucks.
I'm all for it before you start, and then in the middle of it, it's like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, this isn't doing anything. I hate this.
Right.
And now I'm not even cleaning my body because I just want to get out, so I'm probably stinking.
Just cold germs all over your body. Yeah. the big thing too is like service to other people. Like, cause I think about like, you know, the holiday blues or your birthday blues or whatever, cause that's supposed to be all about you. And you're like, well, I'm still unhappy, you know, like why, you know, but you're focusing on yourself instead of like focusing on serving others and like helping other people.
Yeah.
And that's part of why like we have these kind of episodes where it's like, all right, well, this sucks. I don't want to start crying on this friggin' podcast, but like, but if it can like help somebody else be like, oh, maybe that's what it is, or help, maybe I'll get one of those human chargers, or maybe I'll whatever. And not even like it's not going to change their life, but if it could like turn them on to something, you know, then that's cool.
Well, and I mean, I've told you this before, but like the things, like you are absolutely a role model to me, and like like, I mean, like, but like you kind of like talk about like, you know, exercising and eating right and all that stuff. Like that has helped me a ton. So like your whole thing about like spreading joy and empowering others, and like you're hoping that like you talking about this stuff like helps someone. Like I hope you know it has absolutely helped me, and like you have for sure changed my life since joining this team. So I applaud you. You're the man.
Thanks, bro.
But yeah, dude.
I love you, man.
I love you, man. I love you more.
But no, but that's, you know, talk about life on here, and like there's some ups and downs and some whatever. And it's like not a, you know, it's just something like we all have our crosses to bear and whatever. And like that's, I always say like if everybody like in a room, like we all put our problems in the middle of the table, like we'd all probably grab our own problems back. You know what I mean? So it's like nothing that I can't handle or whatever, but it just is what it, but then that's a cool thing to put out there, I think, cause it's super easy to be like on social media, like, hey, look at how much fun we're having. And like, look at how whatever, but like, it's a real thing, dude.
Well, and I mean, that's everyone on social media, not just us. Like everyone's life looks perfect on social media, which doesn't help everyone's personal life.
So that doesn't move the needle, but if something like this could like, you know, take somebody and just move the needle a little bit to help them on their, because it's crazy like what people pick up on, and you know, if you hit the right person with the right message at the right time, like it can do some cool stuff. So I'm glad we have this. You know, so if it helps any four of you out there, but it's cool to have this forum to be able to do that. And
And so just to kind of summarize, you find it helps with like exercise and eating right and being around people and giving back to your community, and you know, stuff that just makes you feel good. I mean, that's what's helping you.
Yeah. And sometimes you got to like lean into it. And like I have not exercised the last couple of days, so I'm feeling like a little deflated right now. But like, you know, and it's all like scientifically, I think, proven. Like you exercise, it releases like feel good endorphins in your body, and then you are what you eat. So you put good food in your body, like it's going to make you feel and just naturally give you more energy instead of you know, like you eat crappy food, you get the sugar high, and then you crash, and then like that's not good. But just giving back to people, that's not necessarily scientific. Like it's biblical, I'm pretty sure, but you know, it's not whatever. But you just like, and that's the whole beauty about like modeling and success in general. Like it's, you know, just a matter of doing it. Like they wrote the book on how to become a successful realtor. So then you either do it or you don't. There's the book on how to become fit. You either do it or you don't, you know? So it's just identifying and like knowing that it's okay for you to, and that's one thing I had to do is get rid of a bunch of limiting beliefs. Like I can't, you know, like I could never do that, or, you know, I shouldn't be successful, or if you have a bunch of money, then you're a prick or whatever, you know? Like those stupid little limiting beliefs. So getting over those and be like, no, I have every right to be a happy, successful, whatever that means to you, human being.
Right.
And then two, it's like, you know, and then success, like money is just a tangible part of success, but like money is good for the good that it can do, you know, and it just kind of exposes, it amplifies what you are. So if you're a dick nose and you have a lot of money, then you can be a bigger dick nose or whatever. But if you're a really good, kind, generous person, like you can be a kinder, more generous person, whatever. But yeah, all that type of stuff. Like I feel like anytime like you get too inward and you kind of get down that spiral of like, oh, poor me. It's like, just breathe one, and then like figure out like, what could I do to help somebody else? How can I help somebody else? And I bet that'll so a lot of times, like we joke, like, you know, so like to help people for like selfish reasons, because it makes me feel good, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, eat right, and then put good stuff in your brain too. Like,
reading and podcasts.
Well, it's the same thing. Like you know, same thing with food or whatever. Like you listen to stupid stuff and, you know, constant negative news and just whatever, the sky's falling. Like, it's going to affect how you are. But if you listen to read like positive, inspiring messages or, you know, all that type of stuff, like it's going to show up.
Yeah. I think a big one too is just the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. You get the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So choose your friends wisely.
Yep.
Because you know, for better or worse, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Yep.
So.
Okay. Well, cool, man. Appreciate you talking about this. I know it wasn't easy, but I think this is a good episode, and I'm excited for people to listen to this one. So hopefully it helps at least one person out there. And yeah, man. You got anything else to say?
Watch for deer.
Cool. Shake your bug.